me mainly couldn't get myself together to get up there and say something at the funeral. When they asked if people wanted to come up there, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do it without getting all messed up. So I figured maybe give myself a couple of days and I'll be able to do something. So now, what I wanted to do was give everybody opportunity if they wanted to say something specifically about him or share a memory or anything like that. Then we'll just go around and let everybody do that, and then we'll release the balloons after the last person speaks. So, does anybody want to start off?
Yeah, start. Brandon. So,
the microphone? You got the microphone.
yeah.
Okay.
Mine. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Randolph. Chris and I, we used to sit in the same section at Geico. Um, the one thing that I remember most about him, and I heard about 757 and other stuff on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. The thing I remember the most, and the thing that I'll cherish, is just how cool that he was. He always had a quick wit. He was smart. He was sharp. He always gave you great advice. But the most important thing that I received from him was he was just a very cool, laid-back young man that anybody. I don't think the guy had an enemy, and he sure didn't have one with me. And I'm humbled and grateful that our paths crossed.
My name is Ryan, and I've known Chris since I came into RV sales probably like 13 years ago. When we started off real cool as just friends and co-workers, but we developed like a brotherhood. That was my brother. Anything you would want, anything you needed, had your back. Everywhere we went, all 757 cities, he was well known, well respected, loved. I'm gonna miss going to the gun range with him. I'm gonna miss going to Waterman's, going to Pocahontas Pancakes. I'm gonna miss him calling me, yo, Jones, they got the new spot, that's where the food at. Yo, man, you gotta get your life right. This is what you on right now. That's what he did, man. I'm gonna miss picking out dogs for Trapsmore and going out there and just chilling. It's hard, man. It's hard. The last couple weeks have been real hard because you just don't know when your last breath is coming. So to all you out there, just know I love y'all, and we all love Chris, and he's gonna live on, man, through Zir and through his memory and his legacy. That's my brother.
Hey, TP. I know Murder, called him Murder, because see Murder, the rapper, so that was my guy with Jones. I'm gonna miss a lot of good times going to kiss the range together, hear the Watermans in the summertime. One thing we can all say about Chris, he was cool as a fan. Like, I never seen that dude get mad one day in my life. I hear customers screaming and hollering. He's just like, real cool, just real cool dude. And I just saw him 2.5 weeks ago. Him and the son came over. We used to sell shoes to each other, trades to sell, and next thing you know, he's gone. So just goes to show, like Ryan said, life is really short. So if you have beef with someone close, man, let that shit go, because tomorrow is not promised. Just let it go. Life is too short and it's too precious. So I'm gonna say love you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming out. Chris, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason Fortune. I've known Chris probably going on 15, 16 years. And thank you, TP, for breaking the seal and starting the cursing. Quite honestly, if any of y'all know me, you know I'm going to say anything. And I can say that this man, without a doubt, was one of the best human beings I ever knew. Anybody who knew him was better simply by being in his presence. There's so many stories I could tell, so many stories that involve this man right here and this man right here. Me and and him started the RV department at Geico back in 2007. And for the longest, it was basically just me and him holding it down. Speaking of holding it down, there were times when, I wasn't in the best financial positions. Sometimes I was down to one car. And my man would come and pick me up, bring me to work in the morning. Never asked for a thing. Never asked for gas money. Never asked for anything. He said, when I told him what happened, he said, bro, I got you. I got you. Make sure I got to work on time. Anyone who knows me from my Geico days know that wasn't always the case with Jason. Plenty of times I rolled up at 5-10 minutes late with some Chick-fil-A biscuits. That was my thing. There were so many times when I would get out of pocket and say the wrong things, and all I do is look over at my brother, and he's like, Fortune, come on, man. And he'd bring me back down. Even though he's younger than I was, I looked up to him because of his demeanor. His demeanor, by far, like everyone just said, was probably the coolest thing I've ever met, the coolest person I've ever met in my life. Nothing got him out of pocket. Nothing. I mean, you probably could have set fire to his shoes and you'd have been like, all right, stop this up. New reason to get some new Jordans. My man right there has a shirt on, sweatshirt. My man wearing the famous hater blockers. He put those on every Wednesday. He's like, the weekend's coming. Sunday through Wednesday. The weekend's coming. I gotta put the hater blockers on. Block all these haters out. Get a customer on the phone, getting super crazy, saying wild stuff. And he's like, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need you to go ahead, hang up the phone, and call me back when you get your life right. And he did it. When he said it so cool, the customer was like, all right. I'm gonna hit you back in about 3 minutes. It'll take me about 3 minutes to get my life right, and then we're gonna be straight. To this day, I'm a teacher right now. I tell my students when they get out of pocket, start acting crazy, I'm like, do I need to call your mom so she can come here and get your life right? Kids have no idea what that means. They're like, no, don't do that. I'm gonna get my life right on my own. Like you said, he's gonna live on. He's gonna live on through those sayings, through his demeanor, the way that we all loved and appreciated this man. And I'll be honest with you, I've lost quite a few family members, quite a few friends over the last few years. I'm a little bit tired, but the only time I see my people is a funeral. I see my people when it's time to get together and remember that life. Life is too short. Life is too short. We gotta remember each other. The love that we have for each other, we gotta remember that. I'm gonna stop talking before I start crying.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Anthony. I pretty much know all the people from RV. That's when I first met Chris, or as we call him, Spellman. It's definitely been a tough one for me just because we talked outside of work a lot. With his pit bulls, and we talked about our sons because we both each have a son, and just the joy that I would see him, with his son and just kind of shouting him out and his career is going forth. I could just kind of see the glow that he had for his son, and that's what kind of hurt me the most because we used to have really deep conversations about that. If there's one thing I want to say about Spellman is real. Like real. Like when I say real, I mean like he was one of the realest guys that I've ever met. Like most everybody said, his demeanor was very even keeled. But when I think of a Spellman, I think of real. And there was no fake with him. 100% real, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I miss my brother. And it's been tough. Like me and Bianca talked a couple times about it. And when I found out, I just started crying because I know how much he meant to this area. Really big in the 757, really big all over. But I'm really gonna miss my brother, and I'll see him on the other side.
How's everybody doing? My name is AB. I worked at Geico starting in 2007. RV was the first department that I worked in. I left back in 2012, and I'm talking about his dogs. So for those of you who know Chris and the dogs, Karma was the first dog that Chris actually had puppies from. And those dogs were born at my house. And the story is crazy because he asked my ex to watch the dog that weekend, and I don't do dogs. And so she was like, okay, cool. He was going up to Philly, and she watched the dog. And so that morning, I'm in the shower. She came in there, she was like, yo, there's more than one dog back there. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean? She was like, there's more than one dog. I'm like, holy shit. I got out of the shower immediately. I got on the phone like, yo. I was like, where you at? He was like, I'm at work. Oh, hell no. You gonna have to come to, you gotta get off. I was like, your dog is having dogs right now. So Karma had like 13 puppies, I believe. And I think 11 survived. And that was the first time I had ever seen anything like that. I don't ever want to see anything like that again. And so he ended up giving her one of the puppies. I was pissed off about that, but you know, Chris was definitely a dog lover. He's one of those people that, you know, he's not just going to PetSmart to just get a bag of dog food. You know, he fed his dog like real food. And you know, it's just, I watched the memorial and it was so amazing to hear his son and to see the hurt with that kid, you know, to see a father the way Chris was with his son. You don't see that a lot today. To see a man involved in his kid's life like that. And I can't imagine where that young man, you know, is mentally right now to lose somebody that big in his life. Chris definitely impacted a lot of people. I didn't even realize until this happened how many people that we knew that knew each other. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was like, you know him, you know him, you know him. And so somebody said, you know, he had a big impact on the 757, and he absolutely did. A great man, a great father, a great friend, and it shocked me. I mean, I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. He was a young man, and people will say, well, he was in his 40s. 40s is young. 50 is young. 60 is young. Too young to go and too great of a person to go. So I will say, like, looking at his picture, it unbelievable. That's all I can say. Unbelievable.
Hi, I'm Intisar, also known as Star, and I got 50 million nicknames. But me and Chris, let me see, I started RV in 2007 at Geico, and we've been on the same team, I want to say, for like 11 years. We had maybe like 4 to 5 different supervisors. We sat beside each other for most of the time, so, and it's like if we were about to get relocated or get our seat switched around, Chris would be like, no, I don't want them to move my seat, I want to sit by you, you know? So we had a close bond. He was like a big brother to me. I would share all my secrets with him, somebody I could confide in. He just had such a calm spirit, and what? Oh, Chris was my go-to person for secrets. I'm just saying, sorry. I trusted Chris with my secrets, you know, and I didn't have to worry about it leaving his mouth, okay? But yeah, so he was just somebody I could talk to all the time about all my problems, give me real advice. Like you say, he was a real person, real advice, good advice. Sometimes I wouldn't like the advice that he'd give because you know it's the truth and you don't want to hear it. But yeah, he was a real good person. He's definitely gonna be missed. So,
hey you guys, I'm Lorraine. So I've known Chris basically the whole time because we started Geico. I've been there 19 years and he'd have been 18. But we won some championships together, right? Okay. Number 1 in RV sales, so we get to brag about that. But Chris, you know, like I said in the service, he was just cool. Chris is laid back. And to see his son, who has just as much swag as Chris did, like when he walked in like Chris. He wore his clothes like Chris. I mean, when I was sitting there looking at him, I was like, wow. But I will tell you, I think we all thought he had 2 sons because he loved the other brother so much, because he really did just kind of say my boys. I didn't want to get into all that at the service, but he would talk about his boys, and in Chris's way to show the pride and the love that he had for him. So we are going to miss him. I think we take so much for granted, especially now that we're not even in the office. But the fact that we can come here, talk about Chris, see people we haven't seen in a while physically, but just always let's keep each other in our hearts so that we don't have this moment where we got to reflect, but just know that we always have love and we share it and express it any kind of way we can. Okay? All right. Love for you, Chris. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Bianca. When I first started working at Geico in 2010, Chris and Ryan were the first two people that they sat me with to kind of teach me how to do the job or see if I wanted to do the job, just watching them do the job. So Chris and I instantly became friends. I'm going to just tell like two really funny stories real fast to keep myself from wanting to cry. But basically, this might be telling like TMI about myself, but it's the truth. I would say like maybe about 2 weeks after I started working at Geico, I was down here at the oceanfront, and I called myself celebrating because it was, I don't know, I was still kind of in training. So I called myself celebrating. I had a little bit too much to drink, and I was walking toward my car, and he saw me. He was down here with some people or whatever, and he saw me. And he was like, where are you going? And I was like, to my car. And he was like, to do what? And I was like, to go home. And he was like, didn't you say you live in Chesapeake? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no. You're not doing that. So he basically had somebody take my car, and then he took me home. So that was one of those moments when you don't know somebody. And I mean, he lectured me pretty much the whole way there. Like, I mean, I was half drunk. I ain't remember most of it, but I remember him saying, like, you're going to mess your whole career up. Don't you know? They'll fire you at Geico, you get a DUI. I mean, that was back in the day. I don't know if it was true, but I know he was trying to get me straight, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, I didn't even know him, that well. So, of course, then instantly, we had a bond from after that. And then even all the way up into, like, less than 2 weeks ago, because I used to ask him about anything that happened at Geico, anything that was going on in my personal life. I always ran stuff past him, and something had happened at work, and I ran it past him, and he told me what to do, and I did the exact opposite. And I never realized until then that he was like, you always ask me for advice, but you always do the opposite of what I tell you to do. Why do you even ask me what to do? He was like, oh, stubborn ass, So I was like, yeah, my bad. But I trusted him, and anybody out here that know me know that I'm pretty independent, and I don't usually ask too many people for advice. So for me to have one person that I constantly went to, to kind of run ideas past and stuff, that really said a lot about what I thought of his character. Honestly, nobody on this planet knew more about me than he did. He knew more about my personal life, my problems, my issues. I mean, we ate at every place in the 757, that he could think of, that maybe, because I'm a foodie. So if I would go somewhere, then he would be like, okay, where was that? And then he'd go, and then he'd share places with me to go, tell me to try different stuff, because I'm fat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to eat everything everywhere I go. So he always had good recommendations and suggestions, but he definitely was my diary. He was definitely someone that I could go to, like Emma said, with, secrets and, issues and problems. And I always knew he was going to give me sound advice, whether I followed it or not. It was nice to have somebody to talk to that wasn't judgmental, and he definitely wasn't that. And anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody, too, for coming. Did anybody else want to say?
I just want to thank y'all for putting this together. I don't know who put this together, but my sister told me about this. And I don't know if y'all know who I am, but I'm Leon's uncle. He came out when I was 3 months old, so we pretty much been never met.
That's one. Huh? Yeah, we started singing group. You know, when I was in the singing, we did it all. We did, you know how it is, young and coming up. Anything I do, you gonna do. Anything he do, I'm gonna do. But I just want to thank y'all for putting this together. A lot of people to see, hear people tell stories and stuff about. Never we really talk about Geico. It's always at Geico, but that wasn't the main focus when we got together, But I'm just glad y'all all came out and did this. It means a lot to me. All right.
So I'm low. Most of y'all know, y'all don't. I just want to let y'all know. Y'all lied to me about Leon sitting there picking y'all up and doing gas. Every time he picked me up, I drove. You went to see UHJ that day? I don't. He gave me the Emporia, and they told me, cuz you got it. I don't know what y'all got going on. But I still got videos of that ride. Like, Twan was in the back seat sleeping. Umar was in the back. Jack, he paid for. Y'all don't understand how big his heart was. He moved my uncle to live with him. Paid for out of his money. I just had to drive. We went out there and celebrated his birthday that day. That was the only time I ever got in trouble. Only time. My whole life. I'm 26. Never got yelled at, never got fussed at about it. That one day I made a mistake. He put me in my place, and that was the only time I ever had a problem about him. But like he said, like they said at the funeral, he put his big hands around me. And I felt something different right there. Everybody knows once I get in the mood, it's not turning me back out of it. But that day, he had the right words to say. Like he said, he just cool, calm, and collected. I was on 1,000 that he was sitting there still cool and calm and down. The last day I seen Leon, he was down Beautiful Street. I'm going to news and I don't say anything. We was down Beautiful Street. Leon tried to outbid me for this Mustang I was going to buy. I told the man 900. Leon said 1,000. I said 1,100. Leon said 1,125. Man almost got me. But he said, look, cuz, keep this car, ride it on. I'm gonna get this car and I'm gonna fix it right. I said, Leon, let me get your truck. You can't deny it. I kept trying to buy that truck for the longest time. But that day I sat in the room with him before I left. We had a long conversation. Y'all know my story. Y'all don't know. He told me never stop fighting. Y'all know why it is. I used to talk to him because I had problems with my own son. I had problems that I sat there and asked about. He told me no matter what goes on, sit there and make the problem better. Everybody I done had a conversation with about. I used to call him and ask him, where can I go eat at? Where the places to go eat at? You tried this place? You tried this junk? That's my junkie junk. That's my cute spot. The hardest part for me was because when I called, he answered. And when I spoke to him, he just spoke to me calm, even though when I was mad. And a lot of times I used to call him Geico. He used to tell me
Oh, okay.
I used to call and ask a question like Geico. You just thought I worked there. But now, like, a piece is gone that I can't pick up the phone and be like, yo, where can I go eat at today? I used to steal memes off his Instagram and put it like it was mine. And I'm just glad y'all showed up for just appreciate him the same way we do. Like, we honestly do appreciate it. Like, they played a part in everybody's lives and played that part in everybody's hearts. But that's my dog, right? Shit. You're in a better place than where we at now. I mean, we shouldn't be crying. I know I'm over here, my eyes a little watery because it's cold, but we shouldn't be crying. We should be happy that he ain't here hurt no more. Like, fuck, man. That's my dog. I don't know. I'm not. I can't. That's my jump. He said, that's my junkie jump.
HJ, Leon, little brother, I just want to thank the powers to be that put this together. This is a blessing for the love that is for Leon. It's hard right now, you know. But when we go through life, storms gonna come. That's how you conquer the storm. You're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. So this is the perfect place to have it, because ain't nothing that's gonna sink in any storm that we go through. My brother was my brother, my therapist, my relationship counselor, my financial advisor. Like, he was secretly my mastermind behind the scenes on how to carry on with life. And it's hard, you know, but that's life. I'm just blessed enough to know I had a good brother, you know, and he's just been at peace his whole life. The only person I can physically see control their emotions like my brother was my nephew. He was just a straight and narrow person that looked out for everybody. I don't care who you were. That's the only person I know that can answer the phone before it rings. It's amazing. Yeah. It's just a blessing we out here celebrating it. And God is awesome. God is good. God is great. And I just want to thank everybody for showing love.
Okay, everybody. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out and also for sharing all your thoughts about this with us. And thanks to the family, because I know it's a hard time right now. And, you know, I didn't want anybody to feel like they had to redo the funeral all over again, you know, by coming out here. So I tried to pick a place that I thought everybody would remember that this was his favorite restaurant. And also being down here at the oceanfront, this his favorite place to be, you know, and Wednesday, because it's his favorite day of the week, because Wednesday is like his Friday. So this kind of was like a trifecta, you know, a Leon trifecta. So what we'll do now is, look like somebody else is coming.
That's part of the family. They're late.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. They made it. We ain't let the balloons go yet. So,
Y'all get it. Y'all get it.
Thank you all for coming. I know it's not 7:30 yet, but it seems like everyone that had, well, out of the new people that just showed up, did anybody want to share anything or say anything before we do the balloon release? Okay. All right, so I know it's not 7:30 yet, and hopefully if it's okay with everybody, unless there's anybody in specific that we're waiting for, I think it'll be okay if we go ahead and I don't really want to be the one to say anything before we let them go, because my voice might start cracking. Because, boy, I tell you. Yeah, that's right. Hey, look. Alright, so I think they said at the funeral, well, of course, you know, multiple phrases was his phrase, but we out here was definitely one of them. We can yell that as we let the balloons go. Alright, so 1, 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. We out here!
That's where it's going. Go beautiful street.
Oh man.
That's beautiful.
And of course, we selected Black and Gold for excellence because that's what he was. So thank y'all very much again for coming out, and let's all stay in touch. Okay? All right, y'all have a good night.